I just have, this is maybe more philosophical, but you know, if you're watching the news right now, it looks like we're heading into potentially a real economic meltdown globally. And what do you think the special challenges for, even listening to them talk, what happens in San Francisco is not the same thing that happens in Detroit or Washington or Tennessee. So what do you think the particular challenges for San Francisco will be if there is a double dip recession, and what special insights and qualities do you have as mayor to lead around that, which doesn't even necessarily need lead out of it, because I don't know if one mayor can lead out of a double dip recession, but what can you bring to us as our leader to weather the storm?
I think that's possibly one of the most intense and central questions to this mayoral campaign. For me, I think one of the top challenges, I would probably put it at number one, facing the next mayor, is making sure we are building a true 21st century economy here in San Francisco. The qualification I have in that regard is I'm the only elected official running for mayor who has started a business, who has hired folks, and who's had to lay folks off during past recessions. I know how incredibly difficult it is to create jobs here, and I think our city needs to focus on not just tech jobs, not just the Twitters and the green collar and high-tech, biotech, green tech jobs, but we really need to focus on our creative industries, our artists, our writers, our musicians, our marketers, to make sure that they are part of hopefully recharging our local creative economy. If I was mayor, I would make sure that there was an economic development person who is focused on the creative economies, on the artistic economies, to make sure that we are marketing ourselves, that we are supporting those of you who are creating jobs off of being creative, to make sure that our nightlife is thriving in a way that's healthy and safe, and really focusing on aspects of our economy that most mayors really don't focus on. I mean, for all intents and purposes, from what I see, my friends who are artists are part of an economy that's a little bit on the fringes of San Francisco, and they need to be part of what is central to our economy, just as tourism and technology and high finance and real estate are as well.
That's one thing.
Sort of a segue to that, the infrastructure of the arts is pretty fragmented, and it gives us little ability to coordinate efforts along those lines. Sometimes the departments themselves don't even know who would need to be at a meeting to discuss policy around arts at America's Cup, so we have to encourage them. What would you do as mayor to change that?
First of all, I think the structure of arts governance in San Francisco city government is broken. I'm one of the folks who does support bringing together the Arts Commission with grants for the arts, and we should bring them under one roof with at least one staffer whose job it is to coordinate the arts among all of the other departments, whether it be communicating with our transit agencies, communicating with the Department of Public Works, communicating with the planning department. We have so many departments that could have an impact collectively in moving forward an arts vision for the city. And this is something that I lay out in my questionnaire, that I would want to make sure that there was one person that was dedicated to this. The fact of the matter is, and this also ties into the last question, we have a huge government. We have a $6.8 billion, 26,000 employee, 50-plus department corporation known as the City and County of San Francisco. And the fact that we've got 15 departments that regulate the small business community, that's a problem. The fact that we have several departments that are supposed to be impacting the arts but don't work together, don't coordinate, that's a problem. And so for me, part of what I would want to do as a mayor is to streamline, to consolidate, and to make sure that there's very clear direction coming from one voice that's speaking on behalf of the arts, that's not just speaking on behalf of the big six institutions, but that's really looking out for the diversity of our artistic community, looking out for our cultural centers, looking out for making sure that our grants are not going to what Luis Cancel and I always fought about, that our grants ought to go to national artists, international artists, as opposed to our local San Francisco artists. I just happen to have a different perspective on that.
Thank you.
That our time is up.
Thank you for everything you did. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.